everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. I didn't get to see this in cinemas, but since it was on DVD, I decided to go ahead and buy it. And boy, am I glad I did. I'm a really big World War II buff, as you probably well know. I've seen every World War II movie ever made. This is probably amongst some of my favorites. Saving Private Ryan is the first of the first. This is another really good one. And I also like Unbroken. But this one is definitely at the top of the list because it does not sugarcoat anything. This particular movie takes place in 1945 at the end of the European theater in Germany when the Allies were coming through Germany itself and killing what was left of the Nazi forces. Of course, even though their tanks could turn on a dime, they were lumbersome as as heck, and they just were very very slow and just terribly loathsome in the design. They just couldn't keep up with the German Tigers. The Tigers were by far probably some of the best implements of war that World War II any war has ever seen, other than the Zeros. I mean, the Zeros were the pinnacle, as the Japanese had us beat, except when we got the Vichy and the Polish Air Force and we kicked their butts. But anywho, this movie is absolutely tremendously good. It is insanely harrowing, and it grabs you by the throat and will not let you go. It is one of those movies that you are thankful that we're allies with Germany now rather than enemies, because they were definitely taking us to the cleaners, needless to say. Like I said, very cumbersome tanks. I can't really say that much about the film, other than I love the fact that Brad himself directed it, and he plays Wardaddy, and then you've got Shia LaBeouf, who was in Transformers, and actually he plays this remarkable role here. I think he deserves a lot of credit for it. He plays a guy by the name of Bible because he quotes Bible verses. I forget what religion he was. And then Michael Pena plays a Hispanic named Gordo. Yeah. Aptly enough. And then there's this kid named Norman. After one of their gunners is shot, then they have another guy. He's kind of a hick, but he actually proves that he has a good heart, even though he roughs Norman up quite a bit, because Norman's the plebe, so he has to, show him the ropes and everything. And Wardaddy actually proves to be a father figure to him, even though Norman, who later becomes appellated the Machine. I won't tell you why, a small spoiler alert there. He teaches him that war is hell, and he has to grow up. He's no longer a clerk. He wasn't trained for anything other than being a secretary, so he doesn't know what war is like, and he's only been in the war for 8 days at the most. And I thought, oh, good Lord God, kid, I feel for you. I mean, you just feel for Norman. And the story actually revolves on Wardaddy himself and just this whole paternal guidance he gives to his ragtag group here. It's just this story is absolutely remarkable, and it just really makes you feel pity toward the characters, and you root for them so much. You want the underdog to win. You're thinking, oh, come on, you guys, you can do it. You could do it. Even though some of the strategies that they take seem a little bit rash and impulsive, they really didn't have any other way out at the time, because the Germans were coming, basically, and they were under siege. So it was either kill or be killed. There's a scene later on in the movie. I won't really go into detail because it's a huge spoiler alert, but there's a scene later in the movie that just makes me absolutely cry like a baby. It's really quite beautiful. It's just this camaraderie, the love that they have, this agape, this unbelievable respect and gratitude that they have for each other. It's just such a very touching, and I'm almost gonna cry again, I'm sorry, but it's just such a touching moment that it really pulls at your heartstrings. And that's why I like movies like this, because it gives you hope for the human race. I don't know if they filmed this in Germany or not, but it's sensationally done. I want a tank like this. I don't know, I may want a Sherman more than I want this guy, but Shermans were nicer. Just coming from my heritage, I have to say that the Germans were better made and better equipped, but bad me. Don't hate me. I would rather have a Sherman in my garage if I had the choice, but it would be nice to have Fury here on my side and just kind of plow through people. And I'm away. Oh, wait, I'll blow you up. Boop. You're gone. Now I can just demolish you all. Or I would be the same. I would have a faux monster truck, and it would be, what would it be? Instead of being called Gravedigger, I would call it Morticia, like how Adam's family. Morticia's driving down the highway and mowing down people that get in her way. Beware! But no, I would never do that. It's just, that's way too excessive of force, and no, I'm just not that type of person. I'm way too nice. I follow the rules of the road. I go fast if I need to because I love the torque of my car, but needless to say, I absolutely adored this film, and Brad Pitt, he deserves an Oscar. I hope he gets one. I don't know if they will. The only film that got a nominee this year was Catching Fire Part 1, which I was very pleased with. The other movies, I thought, really? You nominated Boyhood. Why? Just because it took so long? Who the heck cares? I don't. I don't see any accolades. They didn't really know how to act. No offense. I mean, to those of you who absolutely loved Boyhood, okay, I appreciate your opinion, and I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed it, but I don't think it deserves an Academy Award. I just don't. This one does. Fury definitely deserves an Oscar. I think it does for best document. Either that or Unbroken. I don't care. Either or, I'll be happy if Fury gets it or Unbroken gets it. I don't think any of my other films are going to be getting awards this year. American Sniper did, and I thought, okay, fine. I'm happy with this. Good. Yay. Politically correctness. Woohoo. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect the people that are going into this war, but I think it's gone on long enough, and they can fend for themselves. We have problems over here that we have to take care of. Needless to say, I don't know where it's going. I can't feel hatred toward anybody, honestly. I think that war is pointless. I don't think it solves anything. It just makes the situation worse. This proves it, even though there are glimmers of humanity throughout the film itself. It proves, it's in black and white that war is just atrocious. It just, people died. People from, there were so many allies. I think there were more casualties and deaths. Well, Revolutionary War and Civil War excluded, because the Civil War was the greatest, bloodiest battle that has ever occurred on any soil. It was our own. But World War II is actually one of the most sanguine wars ever fought in the history of mankind. There were many, 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 many dead, and this actually proves it, and it just shows the utter banality and carnality of the war itself. It was survival, basically survival of the fittest. You were an animal. You had to shoot the Germans at the time. There was no other way around it. And I myself, I saw that there were medics involved, and I'm kind of partial to the medics because my uncle was a medic. He served in Okinawa and Normandy. He was on an LST. He was what was known as a corpsman. I don't remember the number of the LST itself, but I don't know if I've told you guys this before in my reviews, but I actually had the pleasure of standing aboard at LST. I'm super close to this, so this is near and dear to my heart, and I might be a little bit prejudiced, but the medics had the hardest job. Other than the nurses, the medics had the hardest job out there on the field. They were getting shot at. I mean, they died probably more than the regular guys in fatigues did. They were just dying left and right because I don't think they really had any armaments on them. I don't think that they were armed. Because I know that my uncle, he operated a turret and he shot down Zeros and whatnot, but I have to say that I'm very medics are just near and dear to my heart because of what they did, and their sacrifices just, it goes beyond the pale for me. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. I know these guys, they're the pinnacle in my book. They're the acme and the bismuth. I gotta say that Wardaddy's teaching methods were maybe a little bit harsh, but Norman, he had to learn. He was just coming out from God knows where. No one really cared where he was from. They didn't really have any idea what he did, and they didn't really give a fig about what he did, but he was taught. He was basically taught how to be a man and take care of himself and take care of his company. What little company they had. I mean, look at them. This five guys. That's it. 5 guys. Hey, they can form Voltron. Sorry, I had to. That was a patch. Oh my God. I can't believe I went there. So sorry that I went there, but I did. Anywho, I really enjoyed the movie, and I think it's terrific. Although I don't agree with war, I still think that there are glimmers of humanity. I think that there are glimmers of humanity for what's going on right now with everything that's been happening in the news. I just do. I have a really good feeling that things are going to straighten themselves out somehow. And we'll find a way to get around our petty differences, because it's just, war doesn't work. It just does not function as a solution to your problem. It never has. It never will. Got to find another way. Not sure what it'll be, but we'll come to a conclusion somehow, and I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be one where we can finally start to live as, well, the brothers that we're supposed to. We're all related, one way or another, and we're all human. We all bleed the same color, so let's just realize that and start to get along, for heaven's sake. That's what the one scene actually reminds me of. It's before the movie actually comes to a close, and I was just crying like a wee baby. But I really sincerely enjoyed it. I give it 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars, hands down. And if you like Brad Pitt, then it's up your alley. If you're a big World War II buff like I am, and into stuff like this, and especially battles. I mean, the battles in and of themselves, how they filmed it is just really amazingly cool. And it was just spectacular. I was completely gobsmacked the entire time I saw it, and it just knocked my socks off. So yeah, it rocked me, and I loved it. So if you have a chance to see it and rent it, I definitely could not recommend it more. Till next time, bye.